Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7th episode of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show Series, Season 3. We're in the NCR, Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, as you may have it. While I'm joined by some of the finest general management talent this industry can afford, we've selected an amazing topic. And you've heard of the big fat Indian wedding, and it doesn't get fatter than it does in the north, right? So the topic for the show today is crafting iconic Indian weddings, operational excellence in the capital, right? So this is, of course, the National Capital Region. And on show today, I have my dear friend, brother, and junior from school, Vineet Mishra, who's going to lead the show in. Vineet is the cluster general manager of the Pullman-Novotel New Delhi Aerocity, and he's also taking care of the brands for the entire country. And of course, right now he's officiating as the country head for Accor in India. Welcome to the show, Vineet.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. The fact that we are from the same school sometimes doesn't get easy with you, but it's absolutely wonderful to be here today. Many congratulations on the 10th anniversary for BW Hotelier. It's been a decade of excellence, and we wish you the best for the next 100 as well.
Thank you so much, Vineet. That's a lot. Really, really appreciate. And those are blessings that we will all soak in. Vineet, let me introduce you to all the general managers on the session today. First in is Parmeet Singh Nayar, who's the Vice President Operations and the General Manager Hospitality for the Radisson, Blue, and the MBD Hotels Group. They're based out in Noida. Welcome to the show, Parmeet.
Thank you. Thank you for having me around, Mr. Khanna and Vineet. It's an honor to be on the show. And many congratulations for a decade in for BW Hotelier and many years of successful career.
Thank you so much. Next in is Suman. She's the general manager of the Le Meridien in Gurgaon. She has loads of experience. She's headed some of the finest businesses and vivacious, and somebody who I really look up to. I look up to all of you, but Suman stands out with all her experience. Welcome to the show, Suman.
Khanna, many thanks for having me over your show, and congratulations on completing a beautiful decade of success and excellence, and wishing you many more milestones ahead and the entire group of BW Hotelier.
Thank you, Suman. That means a lot. Next in is Nitin Pathak, who's the general manager of the DoubleTree by Hilton, Gurgaon, Baani Square. He moved in from Guwahati a while ago. Welcome to the show, Nitin.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Good evening, everyone. It's been a privilege, always been a privilege to be a part of this elite panel. And I look forward, sharing my experience in Gurgaon and Guwahati as well, if that works. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Pankaj. Next in is Pankaj Gupta, who's the area general manager for the IHG Southwest Asia, and he's also the general manager for the Crowne Plaza, New Delhi, Mayur Vihar. Welcome to the show, Pankaj. I think, Pankaj, can you come in on? Okay, I think there's something missing there, Ajit. Just try and manage. Last but not the least, let me get on with Sonali Zagare, Mumbai girl in NCR. She's the general manager of the Hyatt Regency in Gurugram. Welcome to the show, Sonali. Sonali, you're muted. You'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show, Mr. Khanna, and happy to be here once again. Congratulations for the 10 years of anniversary. And
Thank you so much.
good. Hello,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you. Okay, Pankaj is also here. We'd introduced you, Pankaj, while you were not there.
Yeah, I think I'm really sorry. There was some glitch into the system.
No, don't
But,
worry.
good evening, Mr. Khanna, and good evening, everyone. And wishing you all a very, very happy New Year and many congratulations on your completing 10 years. And this is my privilege to be attending third or fourth time this session and look forward to an amazing discussion, especially on weddings.
Thank you so much, Pankaj. That means a lot. Vineet, if I can roll on, do you want to say a few words, Vineet, before I roll on with my first question to you?
Sure, Bhuvanesh. So first of all, I think what happens is that everyone keeps on speaking about weddings, how big fat weddings happen in India and destination weddings and so on and so forth. But for some reason, everyone speaks about destination and travel and everything else. And what they don't realize that while they happen across the country, I think we as NCR in full strength are pretty much the elephant of that. The number of events that we hold, just not in terms of residential, but non-residential as well. And the plethora of offerings that we have as hospitality, as hotels across NCR is absolutely phenomenal. So when Bhuvanesh and me were speaking about how to select something, we felt that everyone speaks about MICE and transient, etc., about Delhi, but it would be very interesting to actually have a discussion on what we are doing as hoteliers, specifically in this space, and there's lots happening from our point of view in terms of both in the hotels and outside as well in terms of what we're doing. A lot of us are working on very new trends and analysis on how to do them better, how to get taken. So I felt that this will be a great topic of discussion, and here we are with a very, very elite, astute set of friends and colleagues and hoteliers, pretty much covering all of NCR from Noida to Delhi to Gurgaon. So look forward to throwing some nice questions to you.
Thank you, Vineet. Let me roll in with my favorite question, and which is actually a lifeline for this industry. If we have to go on, if we are going to expand, tell me a bit about the passion behind the profession. Why choose hospitality? If you can, share your journey in short and the joy of working in hospitality, and also emphasize on the emotional fulfillment and global exposure that this industry offers. Like I always say, this is a career which is second to none. This offers you the ability and opportunity to travel the world, to rub shoulders with the who's who, the celebrities and the heads of state alike. Over to you, Vineet.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Well, in interest of time, I'll try and keep it as short as possible. Otherwise, I can speak about this for almost 2 days non-stop, with possibly one water break. So you asked, why choose hospitality? My answer would be, Bhuvanesh, honestly, why not choose hospitality? And I'll just share a 30-second story. I come from a family of medicos. My family is full of doctors and healthcare professionals, and that's what I wanted to be. But in my nascent years, you may all also remember that every time you would walk into a hospital, there used to be this peculiar smell which you would get, and you would make it feel. And I can see others also smiling on this one. And lo and behold, I landed up in a hotel school, and my father, who's also a doctor, he said, let's go and see the college at least, and then decide. I had no idea about hospitality at that point of time. So from hospitals moving towards hospitality, as soon as I entered this college, I think there was a bakery class on at that point of time. And the sweet buttery smell, all right, just got into myself and my father, and we just looked at each other and we just laughed. And that was a laugh of happiness. I think hospitality at the end of it is a work of heart. And that's what you feel. And that was pretty much my journey on it, how it all started. And I think it's never ever stopped. I don't think so I'm a professional. It's just my passion which has kept me going ever since that day till today. And every morning I wake up with a little bit of a bounce and I feel about it. You spoke about emotions over here, and I think our industry is all about emotions. The good part is you're always surrounded by people, right? Be it a guest or one of our colleagues, etc. There's just so much of emotional attachment which is there that you, even if you want, you can never feel alone. And that leads to the fact that it throws various challenges, of course, but so many more opportunities where you get to see life so up close in such a beautiful manner. You may see a CEO absolutely strict and in a straight jacket at 9 in the morning, and the same person is actually breaking a leg in the evening, and shows that how diversity of human nature actually exists over here. And no matter whether you travel or not, because of your guests, you actually live in a global community. You get to meet so many people and imbibe those things into your own self. And somewhere I think that makes you a better person as well. We speak about people coming in and then moving out from hotels. The fact is that even if you spend some time over here, it rounds you up so much more that no matter where you go, you're able to be a success. So I'm a huge advocate. Get into hospitality and stick with hospitality. That's what I'd like to say.
Great. So you guys are brilliant brand ambassadors for this industry. And I think somewhere we need to step up our act of selling this industry in all its positive glory. All right. And each one of us need to take on that mantle and responsibility. Let me hand the show back to you. We're 12 minutes in. We've got another 48 minutes to go and do another 11 questions. Back to you, Vineet.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. And without wasting any time, if it's okay, in no random order, no particular order, I would like to first go with my good friend Parmeet Singh here. Parmeet, if it's okay with you, I'd love to know the Radisson Blu MBD hotels are known for curating luxury weddings, not now, for decades together. How do you integrate personalization into operational efficiency of large-scale weddings?
Okay, thank you, Vineet. I resonate first and foremost what you just did mention about your personal experiences and your career journey and your transition out. I think it's a people's industry and no-brainer to that. So I think one of the key things we have as MBD Group and in our hotels have kept in mind is that our entire business model runs around the emotions which garner through what the guest is going through, right? And let's start with weddings, which is the current topic. Now, in terms of weddings, one of the biggest thing is that for any person and a father of the groom or the bride, there are a range of emotions which are flowing through, right? Fear, anxiety, wanting to put the best foot forward. There are the in-laws, relatives. Everybody has to be actually given the best of the foot forward. So one of the key things which we do at our hotels is to ensure that we sensitize our teams to that anxiety, which the guests would have. And we try and match up or exceed our actions to ensure that the guest is made comfortable. right? One of the key things which a guest would take on would be the choice of location, where his peers, his relatives might have the right eye on, saying that, all right, is the right location. Whether there is accommodation attached to that, that's another decision point as such. They're looking out for flexible partners because at the end of the day, I'm as a guest, I'm anxious, right? And I might think and miss out on a lot of items which my wife, my relatives might just throw on me at the last moment. And I need flexible partners to come out and execute those last minute odd requests. So we're looking out, and we want to be there as hotels to ensure that we are there to support that odd request at that last juncture, right? So that's yet another piece that we look at. And if you look at it technically speaking, a guest, what does he want? Seamless integration between their wedding planners, if they bring in their own wedding planners. If they choose us as their wedding planner, we end up making sure that their timely delivery of their respective halls are halls. They have to be adorned, all right, and we ensure that they are on time and they are welcoming. So that's what we try and actually do for our respective thing, and of course, flawless delivery. Last but not the least is taking care of their guests. So we ensure that we have our butlers or the Ji Hazur touch to the respective, the family of the bride and the bridegrooms are taken care of, and of course their respective very focused guests who they would have later on would give them their respective feedback on. But having said that, entirety of the hotel and operations are seamless, on time delivery. So as a hotel, Radisson and our hotel, what we do is we engage partners, event planners who have the bandwidth to give across some great experiences, not just typical tents or etc. or tables and chairs, but we have the best of the decor which can get created, right? And of course, and we curate the best of the menus from our Made in India award-winning restaurants, Made in India, Red, and of course our S18 and our Lake Spa for cocktails. Timeliness, quality, and excellence. That's what we do.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Timeliness, quality, and excellent, along with Ji Hazur when required. So, very well put across. Suman, if you don't mind, I'd love to take the conversation forward with you. So, Le Meridien Gurgaon has a unique blend of tradition and contemporary appeal, right? It's a beautiful hotel. How do you strike the balance to cater to diverse wedding clientele? Pretty much picking up from what Parmeet was just speaking about.
Okay, so Le Meridien is nestled in green surroundings. Many of you have been here and seen this. And this brings us to a setting of urban resorts. So we kind of get lots of weddings where destinations kind of feel is required. Taking into diverse clientele that we have contemporary as well as traditional. And this year we've had about 30% of our weddings have been from NRIs. So the set of expectations really vary on that front. And how do we really look at versatility in design and space is one of the factors. Fueled, our marketing is more so the weddings that we get is powered by our guest voice. And a lot of guest referrals come to us, and that's something it's really a great feeling because somebody who's been there as a guest or on the side of the host, they come back with their the next potential bride or a groom, and then they need to then they stay on. I think that's a great feeling for us to get our repeat clientele and referrals on those points. And also the hotel has built a lot of the number is mind-boggling at this point in time, but before we could get there, we really expanded our competencies and capabilities. We've added a lot of banqueting area, which is exclusive to the, of course, within the hotel and on the surroundings. That gives us opportunity to host slightly larger weddings than we usually had. And of course, the number that we cater to, the contemporary beautifully the modern settings as well as the traditional, where customs and rituals play a major role. And at the same time, the settings of the modern day, where minimalistic approach of the youngsters, where sustainability comes into the play. They have their own expectations, very postcard, picture perfect weddings compared to the traditional mindset. So I think we cater to both the spectrum extremely well. Pride to, I take great pride in ensuring that, yes, we kind of bringing family together and letting the couples start their journey onward from here once they become one. So I think that's balance is beautiful, and it's a beautiful blend of all the kinds of activities that go on, because wedding is one affair where nothing is enough. Every moment, it's so dynamic, as Parmeet said, that, from jihuzuri to relatives, aunt, you may please everyone. Suddenly one thing will come up where, okay, this one was left, it's more important than host. And so many collaborators, then there are many, many stakeholders. So everybody has to be kept in good humor and go along with everybody else. And the discussions take a lot of time, so you become a part of them. I think if you own their dreams and expectations, which is the hosts and both sides of the family, wedding is really a great experience and one enjoys it thoroughly. I think it's a great privilege to be part of so many weddings.
And also that the good money that it brings in.
Yes, good money that it brings in, sure.
All right. Yeah. Okay, Vineet. Vineet, we can't hear you for some reason. Vineet, you're not muted. Unmute. We seem to have lost your voice. Don't worry, we can't hear you. But you sort that out. Let me ask the next question. You sort that out. Let me go to Nitin. Nitin, Vineet will just fix his audio. Yeah. So tell me, Nitin, DoubleTree by Hilton, Gurgaon, the Baani Square, has hosted memorable boutique weddings. What innovative elements have you incorporated to stay ahead in this niche market and ahead of the game?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Khanna. I think my previous speakers have, in fact, very well nailed it, wherein they said, the kind of flexibility, the kind of, the hajuri, the butlers, the kind of curated menus, the role of chefs, and everything has played a role. When I talk about DoubleTree by Hilton Baani Square, we are located into a very lively.
I'll just ask you to pause. Yeah. Vineet, sorted?
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, sorted. Sorry.
Yeah, great.
I went on your behalf to ask that question.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Nitin.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I mean, our hotel is located into a very urban, lively location. And given the restrictions in terms of space and in terms of the outdoor settings, we have very limited options to offer to our guests. So we are into very small, intimate, personalized, curated kind of weddings, wherein we can cater up to 200 people at a time. The DTS, which is design specifications or design technical stuff with this hotel, is very well defined. So the entry, exit, your parking. So this gives an entire flexibility to a guest who is having his wedding out here, wherein he can curate the entire stuff accordingly. Wedding diaries by Hilton also helped us a lot into this, wherein our entire weddings is based on 4 pillars basically, which is your sustainable F&B practices. We generally have our chefs, which are it depends on the customers or the guest request, wherein we can fly in our chefs from different locations. The menu can be customized. The important thing that we have done out of these 4 pillars is the ambassador that we have created into the hotel, which is basically a wedding ambassador from the hotel side, who acts as a catalyst or who acts as a mediator between these 2 parties, helping each other. This ambassador primarily is an F&B expert who understands the culinary part and the F&B service part very well. He plays a role in providing guests the accommodation that he wants, the kind of flexibilities he wants, the last minute request in terms of providing whatever is required. So I think that is also helped us a lot. then we generally try to do end-to-end solutions. Khushiyan by Hilton is another initiative that has been taken under this wedding diaries by Hilton, wherein we give customized menu, the hampers, the boxes. So it's a one-stop shop that we try to create. We give all those flexibility to a guest, wherein whatever is required in terms of his wedding requirement, in terms of the invitations which are sent through the hotel side. So in a lump sum, which I want to say is it's one-stop shop which takes care of each and everything. Sustainable F&B practices, safety and hygiene, the flexibility, the other areas which are no interference with the other guests who are staying into the hotel. That's one of those important aspects of the hotel, the location, the way it's built, the outdoor locations which are pretty intimate. We generally host these weddings. So I think it's amalgamation of everything that we do in hosting those weddings.
Yeah, Vineet, back to you. Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you, Nitin. So, Pankaj, if you don't mind, I would love to ask a couple of things to you as well. So, Crowne Plaza, New Delhi, Mayur, Vihar, the location itself, you serve a lot of cosmopolitan clients. How do you adapt your weddings and the offerings to cater to the diverse cultural preferences that are there?
Well, thank you, Vineet. I think majority of colleagues had spoken about how wedding, and we all are enthusiastic about wedding because it drives a great number for the hotel. And especially when you look at this year, 2025, there are 75 wedding dates. And these dates are for certain community, but there are many other communities like Christian, Muslim, Jain, Sikhs. Those does not look these numbers, these dates basically. When we look at the opportunity and this diverse culture, I think Crowne Plaza Mayur, we got a multiple banquet halls and then the open areas to look at that. And definitely, I'll give you one recent update. We had a Kashmiri wedding and they would like to have something very specific Kashmiri. So we have taken a help of our hotel, which is in Katra. We got a chef from there and did an amazing, food for the guests. And that was an outstanding appreciation from a guest. So not only for that, and then when you look at our Hindu weddings, when they expect a grand mandap setups, vibrant haldi, mehendi, other setups happens. When you look at Muslim weddings, they have their own expectation. Like when we do a nikah at their hotel happening, they have a grand sitting area they expect. When we have a Jain weddings, they expect a vegetarian food from the hotel, which is no onion, no garlic, and becomes more difficult for a chef to give it same kind of taste. So what we do when we do such kind of wedding in advance, we do a food trial to a guest and understand are we living up to the expectations of the guest. That really works for us. And then also what we have created a hotel events team. Now events team coordinate with the team with the sales team and the guest in between, and then they really understand that are we really in line, and then they coordinate with the chefs and the ops team as well. And they are with the guest till the wedding gets over. And the other like it becomes like a buttrell or any other kind of things because some coordination give great success. Also, when we look at certain events like they happen on outdoor weddings happens, there's certain expectations that what kind of setup is going to happen that place, or it's going to be working, not working for them. Also about the culinary experiences, what kind of food we are offering, what kind of in terms of dessert, in terms of main course, in terms of starters. Also that we have also worked on the so normally when you look at about the experience and checkout, what is they're feeling about a feedback, are they really right feedback, and at time we have really worked on those feedback for a next wedding, which has really given an advantage to us to satisfy other customers as well.
Wonderful. No, in fact, what you picked up is extremely relevant and important in every sense. We all learn with experiences, and how do we use that to improve our services for the next one is so true. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing this. And congratulations on getting cuisines from all across.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sonali, if it's okay with you, I'd like to shoot a question to you now.
Sure.
Great. So Hyatt Regency Gurgaon is known for its grand scale and finesse. How do you maintain excellence in logistics for weddings with a guest list that's exceeding expectation?
Okay, so we all know Aerocity Gurgaon is known for the mice. Now, moving from the mice like convention to the weddings, so we have curated the experience not only for the on-site, but when the guests start signing up the contracts. So experience have started from signing up the contract. And so we curated, actually, if you want to say, it's booking to billing experience. So entire your pre-arrival starts from the contract, and we at HAT have the events concierge. So one person is a dedicated concierge is attached with the wedding. It's not the wedding planner, but it's the operation person is post the contract signing. He's assigned from the time you sign the contract till the time the execution happens. So that is the one experience. What happens with the menu at the Hyatt Regency Gurgaon? It's not the normal menu what we are actually offering. So next step comes as a food tasting. So we actually at the Hyatt Regency Gurgaon, we have created the different experience that food tasting happen at the kitchen, the banquet kitchen. And that was, I think no hotel has that done it in the past, but we here at this started from last year. And that was very successful. We got the confidence from the community that obviously we cannot give onion and garlic, and our kitchens are really safe, so we can. And that is actually the best practice, I think. And the weddings are the word of mouth. Last year, we had hosted 20 weddings. Currently, we are sitting on the books of 30 weddings where we have the 72 Saya dates. So this hotel was actually turned around the entire experience post curated these experiences. So our successful story for the Hyatt Regency Gurgaon was the menu testing at the menu testing lab. We said we've not mentioned at the menu testing. We said that it's not the kitchen. We curate as the menu testing lab, and that is our banquet kitchen. So we have we all know that's a 20,750 square feet event space what we have. That is inside. Outside, we have the lawn that is 14,000. Plus, we have the pool side that's 8,000. So every event we started curating if you do the haldi or sangeet. So we are actually under one umbrella. We have the different experience for the wedding clients. And this has been a real success story for Hyatt Regency Gurgaon. And if you ask me, Vineet, we've never been preferred as the wedding venue, but 24 had actually transformed into the guests have started, it's a word of mouth. So guests have started coming back with their relatives to book the event space. I really got for 26 also, I've got 2 to 3 weddings confirmed from US. So that's been a really success story because of our experience, what we have curated. Coming back on the offerings, we are giving the offerings of the different menus, but we have the different chefs on site. So we do not take them from the outside. We have chef from Radisson, chef from South, chef from UP. So these are the chefs are actually curated the menus for our wedding guests.
Wow. Menu tasting lab. That's what you mentioned, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And I think you pretty much got half of all the Saya dates already covered. So
yeah, well it was very actually, if you ask me, when I started this concept, I did not get the 100% support from they all were very, they were not ready to do it, experience it. But when we started this, I think most of the guests were very happy. And that was really success. I think this will rock.
I think
we're midway through the show. Vineet, we'll take a short 30-second break with your permission, and then I'll come back to you. My apologies to butt in. Yeah, thanks.
No, absolutely.
quick gratitude to Diversey. Diversey has been a great supporter for this industry and BW Hotelier. Like I always say, Diversey has put their money where the mouth is. They're supporting us to carry this message and selling this industry as a great career option to the aspiring hoteliers who are planning to get into hospitality schools or out of hospitality schools right into the industry. So Diversey, thank you so much. You're doing a damn good job of it. And thank you for supporting us. Back to you, Vineet. Let me ring in with your second question, if I may.
Sure.
All right, Vineet, tell me, there is this whole thing. It's a great career, but it's really rigorous. So tell me, breaking the burnout cycle, how can we address stress in high pressure roles? And if you can identify some common stresses in hospitality roles and how to mitigate them, one. And two, can you suggest some practical tips for self-care and stress relief for hospitality professionals?
Sure. It's an excellent question, Bhuvanesh. Thank you for asking. First of all, I'd like to just touch on one little thing. Very often we ourselves keep saying hospitality is a hard industry to be in. I think it's a lot to do with mindset as well. There's nothing easy in life, and everyone will agree to that. But for decades together, because and that pretty much comes back to the stresses of our role that we do over here. Essentially, we have ourselves for years together and decades together felt and treated it that it's a difficult place to be in. While honestly, it's a very happy and great place to be taking your career forward. Some of the stresses I actually feel which do lead to issues for us is, first of all, is long and unpredictable hours. Now, while we understand guest demands are there, but as an operation, we all should also keep in mind that a lot of things can be taken care of through great planning. If we plan and we put processes in place, people will be looked after. Even my own hotel over here, we do 5 days a week. And along with that, we are also working on 9 hours. And that's how the entire team works. And otherwise, there's overtime, which steps in. So in case we don't plan, we lose somewhere or the other, either in morale or in money. So if we discipline ourselves, I think that'd be great. The second part is it's an emotionally draining industry as well. Guest complaints and issues which do pop up every now and then. And it happens anywhere in any other industry as well. But sometimes it can get a little emotionally draining for yourself. The good thing is take a 5-minute break, talk to someone. Okay, we all have great teams. And I think by emotional intelligence and a holistic part to it will really, really help. The third part I feel is essentially work-life balance challenges. One has to be empathetic towards your team, understand everyone has a life outside, and work around it. When a team is integrated and good together, they kind of support each other. And it's important that we need to have both personal as well as work-life balance kind of put into it. One last thing is, of course, high employee turnover and staffing shortages. Now, how do you do this better? By running a tighter, more collaborative operation, taking care of each other and pretty much supporting and essentially looking after our people. And I'll repeat myself, hospitality is a work of art, both internal and external. So these are things that we have to kind of keep in mind. Practical tips to go ahead. I personally feel that a lot of it has to do with a balance of doing something else for yourself. For me, for example, travel is a stress buster. Running is stress busting for me. I'm sure others can figure out what they like and actually switch off practically in your mind. It's a lot to do with your own mindset and healthy eating habits, getting enough sleep, and taking short breaks every now and then. I think that's how we all should be able to kind of take care of what we do. I don't think so there's anything which is very peculiar to hospitality, which does not exist in any other profession. It's just on how we approach it and ensure that these things don't affect us negatively, but more positively.
Yeah, well said. no industry is easy, no job is easy, right? You may be a housewife, that's the toughest job,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's more than, it's 365 days, 24/7.
Right.
You're on your toes. But having said that, I think yoga, fitness, and learning how to unwind are extremely important attributes for any job, more so for a hotelier. Thank you so much, Vineet. Let me
Thank
hand
you.
back to you. We've got 18 minutes for the
Okay.
next 5 questions.
All right, not a problem. So let's switch gears a bit. We were speaking a lot too with guests, but let's also discuss a little bit what actually happens behind the scenes. I think it's very important to curate a great wedding. So, Suman, if it's okay with you, I'd love to ask you the next question. Okay, what operational strategies have you adopted to manage the complexities of back-to-back wedding events, especially during peak seasons?
So Vineet, we at our hotel do from intimate affairs to grand celebrations and everything in between, because the kind of, as I said, the space is our strength, the design is our strength at the hotel. Marriott is an organization, we have a beautiful process. I mean, that's a very robust and settled process where Shadi by Marriott being huge, we have event teams, we have, whole vertical, which is so set in terms of the talent that we hire and very experts that we have on the team to look into every single aspect of the business and the wedding segment specifically. So how we start, the very first step is when the discussions begin, the venue, after venue selection and all, and we know the wedding is getting signed up and the contract. We have that one point of contact at a wedding concierge level, then we have one at an event level, and of course the execution. The culinary experience, food being the soul of the Indian weddings, it's not about what to include. Usually the question is what not to include. It's that exclusion becomes a problem. So the grand old wedding feast comes into the picture. I have a huge advantage of having 2 chefs. My director of F&B is also a chef, has been a chef for over 2 decades, and an executive chef. So it's that cliche thing, that expression that too many cooks spoil the broth. It's the other way around. So I have dual advantage of getting that, every restaurant is present in the venues, and a lot of discussions go on along. And in terms of collaborating and, the decorators, the designers, and a whole lot of and as Parmeet said, the families come into the picture, the, 2 sides, diverse backgrounds, but they are one on the day of that great moment. So I think meeting expectations setting. So we have a very robust process. I keep telling my team, and a 4 quadrant theory, which I, prophesize. And I said, that is something we need to follow. One is your planning is extremely important. So the meticulous planning, really painstaking moments that, yes, this is how we want to go about it. Keeping in mind, and experience has taught us that no matter how well you plan, the changes are always there, the dynamic. One relative comes and everything turns around. The decorator suggests something which works to anyone's advantage. And we go through those changes. And that's what you as a team, all of us, we need to be very flexible in our approach, that we have to own the whole emotion and the event ourselves, and we have to become part of that whole system and the ecosystem of the family. So there cannot be any no. This is one lifetime event, and all of us come together to do that. I think that's where we begin. Second is exhaustive preparations. There is rigorous preparation. Once everything is settled, the trials are done, the guests have exposed to whatever we could offer, however they want their salons to be in the place, their pressing units, down minutest detail, how would they come, who will carry the butlers, the wedding con. Everybody works towards those smallest details, which really count. And third is the flawless execution. That's extremely important. So like a script is very well bound at the preparation stage, so execution becomes that much easier. With leaving no room for firefighting or contingencies. But experience again taught us that no matter how well you plan your things, there may be everything is set up, the grand moment comes, and there is a light required when everything is, the spotlight is on the couple and the rituals are about to begin. Then there is a match missing. Everything is up there. So we carry ourselves, we arm ourselves with all these contingency plan. The little room that we thought there is none, but I think the like, as luck would have it that day, okay, you asked for a match, a young kid, and this really happened. Can I have a match? I'm too young for that. Okay, go to the next person. I'm a non-smoker, and you'll find the whole row is of non-smokers that day. So I think those kind of little things work out, and you feel that you need to really arm yourself for everything in terms of whatever the family has planned, their lockers, their safety, security, the parking, expectations of the guest. They may come outdoor, indoor spaces. We operate on 2 zones. I mean, if people plan wedding, all the fineries, you have to keep certain, all those nitty-gritties of the event of that scale to the cozier ones. We have to really take care, and the team of experts and the processes that we have, I think, help us deliver what we really promise to our guest. So that's something we take, it's a laborious effort, but we enjoy being part of the family. And actually, once the wedding is over, even after that, there are a lot of things, a lot of follow-ups go on, not in terms of, it's just that they are so, a 10-day journey, sometimes it's 3 months you've been in preparation. So it's not something that it's a, 1 week they come and sign. The weddings are done, as everybody knows, and everyone, we sign it up much in advance. But that kind, 6 months, 8 months, 4 months, you have constantly been in touch, because that is the lifetime. It's a big milestone for the family. So I also say that it's not a birthday party that it'll come next year. It is the wedding of the couple. I still believe once in a lifetime affair for whatever we are progressing. But we need to ensure it's no sorry event, and the entire team navigates through that process that we very well designed. So that's how we take care of our guest on the wedding front.
Thank you. No, very well said. It's a one in a lifetime event for a guest. We are a little short on time, so I'm going to go into a bit of, if you could just keep your answers a little bit brief, so that, because I've got quite a few questions yet to ask. So Pankaj, if you don't mind, the next one I want to ask is to you, actually. How do you ensure that the culinary experiences in weddings reflect innovations while respecting traditional tastes? You did cover a little bit of it earlier, so.
So, Vineet, we normally talked about when we really invest something, we talk about return on investment. So we really work out towards, when it comes to a wedding, return on experience, which becomes most important for every guest when they come for a wedding. So we work on 4-5 elements on it. We work on a smart menu options, leveraging support of sister hotels, mood-based menu planning, food preparation keys, and innovative and traditional fusion. So what has basically happened in this, that in fact, for my hotel also, I've got a director of operation who come from a kitchen background, and then the executive chef. And I think since he came in onto a board, given a lot of advantage to us into a menu planning, what we can do, what could be a menu options, how we can look into it a little differently, how other hotels are doing it. And it comes to a menu planning. It becomes very, very important that what we're really talking to a guest, what we're connecting, and what we actually giving to a guest. Well, despite of all efforts, what we do, there are still some hiccup comes, someone come from family talk about this is not right. And that becomes, I'll give example what has actually happened to a hotel. One of the wedding, there was an issue happened. So, the food was an issue. So this person walks to a place and talk to a guest, and then go to a kitchen and make it right, or director of operations, basically. So I think we work as one team. On a food preparation play a critical role, elevating the wedding dining and the experience. So I think working towards and collaborating, understanding guest expectations really works for us.
Great. Oh, thank you. Nitin, if you don't, yeah. So how do you manage client expectations while dealing with wedding planners, ensuring a seamless collaboration? It's a bit of a lovely position to be in every now and then, right? The guest, the wedding planner, and us.
Absolutely. So there are many stakeholders during any wedding event which happens into our hotel. As I said earlier, I mean, we are into very small, intimate kind of a wedding. So we focus on a couple of aspects, which is the safety and security. We pay a lot of emphasis on safety and security. We don't compromise on the planners or the event management companies who want to do the fancy stuff into our outdoors and indoors. So that's one of the aspects that we really take care of. The second aspect is our hygiene factors, wherein we do not compromise on the food which is coming in. There are many a times wherein we collaborate with the third parties who are there for the food offerings as per the guest requirement. So hygiene becomes the second most important thing. And as I said, our hotel is a pretty compact kind of a stuff, and we believe wedding is not the D-Day that we are catering to. There are many more events that we focus on, which is your pre and post wedding days. Basically, a bachelor party or probably a party which is your post wedding receptions and all those sort of stuff. Uh, Having a compact restrictions and all those stuff, we cannot have a lot of ceremonies and all those stuff going on into the hotel. So, but we do not compromise on all those aspects. Collaborating with all those vendors becomes very, very important. Having a panel, a list of panelists on all those decorators, your event planners. So we have our own panel. In fact, if a guest wanted to have a third party which is not in our panel, we set our expectations very clearly in front of those things. And having one ambassador, a wedding ambassador kind of a concept, really helps from the date of signing to the final execution, to the D-Day and the bidding farewell to the wedding party. I think that really helps. This wedding ambassador ensures that we are absolutely on the lines of the hotel terms, conditions, and everything are being met, keeping every sentiment in mind, the guest sentiments, all stakeholders which are in play. So I think that's how we play. It becomes easier for us. As I said, the scale of operations is not that high. I think in other cases like Mrs. Gahlawat and probably Pankaj's case, it might be very, very difficult and very different to handle. But in our hotel, it becomes really easier to collaborate. And we have our expectations very clear, no compromise on safety and security and hygiene factor. So that's how we operate.
No, I think very well put. And wedding planners are critical for us. I think they are also our ambassadors directly, indirectly. They educate our guests also a little bit on what's
Absolutely.
possible and what's not.
I
So
agree.
we should use them to our strength than challenge. Sonali.
Absolutely. I agree.
So your menu tasting lab is still in my mind, and I thought I must ask you the next question. How do you leverage technology, Sonali, in planning and executing weddings to enhance guest satisfaction and also operational efficiency, both?
So as I said earlier that we have the event concierge. So event concierge is not the internal, we are linked with the guest. Post the contract, we have the event concierge. So we are connected with the guest to our event concierge. We have the concierge in charge, who's actually our wedding planner. So who actually in touch with the guest from before the execution of the wedding. So we actually have the online, your wedding menus plus your checklist. Then your entire plan of event is done through digital. So we don't do anything face to face. Everything is online when guest is booked with us.
Great. Parmeet, all said and done, we all are in the same market and we do compete with a little bit with each other. It's a tight space. No guest actually goes only to the first hotel and stops there, even if they wish to. They like to shop. It's a thing.
Yeah.
The whole wedding is a thing. So with the ever-evolving market, how do you ensure that your wedding services remain competitive while preserving brand values? Because guests come and ask for anything, and how do you maintain this balance and still stay competitive?
Yeah, thank you, Vineet. Vineet, we've been in the business for Radisson Hotel Noida has been, if I were to go slightly behind, 24 years. This was the red building right across where the mothers and the fathers got wedded in. The only luxurious hotel this spot ever had. One of the key things which we look at is to ensure, and times have changed over time, things have moved. We are in the second generation, and our focus is to ensure that we have the second generation also getting wedded across with us. That's one of our key objectives. That comes with a bond with the family. I think one of the key things which our team is sensitized to, and you touched a chord or emotional intelligence. Our team is sensitized to create a bond with the guest right at the time when the person connects with the hotel. The response time we give them, the making them feel comfortable, making them feel trustworthy, being a host with the host during the event, which is absolutely vital, because the guest should not feel that he's the only host and he's living in lurch whilst the event is taking place. So if the guest is comforted that there's another host along with the host, that creates memories, that creates the bond. And definitely going along with the new age, researching with new age trending times, cuisines, also keeping the traditions, because clearly there are, whilst many may want to actually explore new cuisines, many may want to explore new styles, but they also want to have some traditions backed right there, anchor with the traditions. So that's yet another piece such which we make sure that our hotels, both in Radisson and Hotel Noida, also in our Hotel in Ludhiana, we anchor and create those bonds. And last but not the least is, of course, mithai and keeping them engaged with us beyond the function, welcoming them to our Club Meridien membership program, which is there, and keeping them engaged with us throughout their journey, throughout his next generations to come.
Wonderful. No, it's a fact. I mean, ultimately, a great experience leads to, you don't know how many of those X number of guests inside are actually planning or recommending the next event. Very well. So great. I have a couple of questions for all the panelists here, if it's okay with you. Just give me a rapid fire back in any order whatsoever. Would you be able to say what's the average size of a guest list for a luxury Indian wedding in NCR? Take your pick. Sonali, you want to tell me?
Yeah, I think it starts from 500 to 1,000. So,
okay.
Yeah, for the wedding is Indian big fat wedding. So in Delhi NCR, I have learned here is like 500 to 1,000. We have hosted.
Sonali is on 500 to 1,000. Suman, you want to go higher, lower? You're gonna
300 to 500 if we talk about the luxury in luxurious settings. I think that's a number that I would pitch for.
All right. So we have 300 to 500 over here. Pankaj, what's your call?
Well, with the capacity what we have in the hotel, and when we look at between 300 to 400 max people.
Yeah, no, but Delhi as a whole, what do you think is usually
I think
the size?
700, 800. That's could be numbers.
Okay, so you're 300 to 400 for your hotel, and now you're dividing Sonali's 500 to 1,000 into 700. We're getting very specific and competitive here. Nitin, what's your call? I think Nitin's frozen, and so is.
Nitin, I'm so sorry. I said I'll go with Mrs. Gahlawat. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes. 300 to 500.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll go with the luxury clientele in mind. I think 300 to 500 is the right number.
Okay, and Parmeet, for you?
I would actually, I have a two-pronged opinion here. Hotels in NCR.
Just the number.
Yeah, the NCR. The NCR in hotels is 300 to 500, which is what I would go along with Ms. Suman and Nitin.
Right.
But the farmhouses would house bigger.
Yeah,
which are enjoying.
True. So since I'm the moderator, I can always pick up the final count over here, and I'm going to put some rank there. But yeah, pretty much 500 to 1,000 is the range that usually works as far as luxury hotels and weddings are concerned in the city. That's more or less the study. And just a little trivia for you: the segment which actually contributes the most over here in wedding revenue, in terms of venue, between the options of venue, food and beverage, or decor, it's actually F&B. Food and beverage is actually the largest contributor towards wedding experiences. I thought I'll share this with you. I would have done a poll on that.
Because are on and food is on.
Yes. Chalne do, as they say. Wonderful. So I think a very big thank you to each one of you. I mean, Parmeet, you were absolutely wonderful to start the session on personalization.
Thank you.
Suman, great insights on strategies, and also speaking about peak seasons, NRIs, and how you've actually been growing this market year on year. So encouraging to know from your side. Nitin, while boutique, still very special. I think it is so nice to hear on how you actually balance out between the wedding planners and the guests and the whole cusp to it. It was wonderful. And Pankaj, the culinary experiences and what you spoke about, very encouraging. I have to make it to your hotel and quietly slip into one of the weddings, looks like.
Most
And you
welcome.
have to find me. Right. Okay. And Sonali, always a pleasure. And very, very interesting new innovations and pushing the market and creating excellence over there. All the very best to you. That's pretty much from me, Bhuvanesh. I would love to hear a few of your comments.
Thank you so much. I've actually enjoyed from the side. You may not know, when you guys indulge with each other, your questions were very succinct and the responses, yes. So that gives you a very good bird's eye view that the industry is not just in safe hands, it's in great hands, good, comfortable, secure hands, and it is going to go places with such mentors. I'm sure we're obviously growing talent in your ranks. And I think it is incumbent upon each one of us that we mentor, we have a keen eye for great talent, and we bring them up. Our success is not just the numbers that we churn out each day, the profitability, the GOP, the ADRs, or the occupancy and the works, or the RevPAR. Our key deliverable is what is it that we are going to leave behind for this industry to go on and take that giant leap. And that giant leap will not happen without great talent. Right? Sure. Obviously, somebody held our hand to bring us to where we are.
Yeah.
Right? So it is do for the others what you would want others to do for you. That is my mantra. Having said that, Vineet, you've been a great moderator, 10 on 10 to you. And I'm sure all my colleagues on the session would also echo that opinion.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So,
I agree, Mr. Khanna.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Undoubtedly.
Like each
It's
one
always...
of you, Vineet is a very affable, a very warm, and a very kind-hearted person. At times I would feel he's too nice. But the point is, being nice is also an attribute. And he's doing a great job for his brand, for all the businesses that he heads. And you've actually got a second career going after you hang up your boots. Come anchor the GM show for us.
Sure. Sure.
Right? And many more. And good. Sorry, you were saying something?
I just want to add one thing over here.
Please go ahead.
I think what you're doing, knowingly or unknowingly, is actually you're creating a whole, I would say, a reference online series over so many seasons. Today, if I'm inspiring, I can actually go across, pick up a topic and go through it to hear industry experts and stalwarts actually speak. I think it's absolutely brilliant on what you're doing over here. It's just not about one online session, it's how you're curating it and taking it through. This is the third season, and I know I have gone back and seen a few. So thank you so much for doing this for the industry.
That's so encouraging and warm, but I must tell you how we pick our topics. We guys discuss amongst ourselves, what are the issues that the industry faces and must handle? What is it that a general manager or their teams grapple with? And they need answers. So that's how we pick topics, and we see a location, we bring them in. And let me tell you, we have a list of almost 1,000 topics. Right? So we keep jotting them down on our notes on the mobile. But yes, thank you so much. It's been a great session. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this episode as insightful and inspiring as we have. Once again, a big thank you to all our speakers, to each one of you. Let me start with the ladies. Sumanji, Sonali.
Thank you.
Nitin, Pankaj, and
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Don't hang up yet. Well, this is Bhuvanesh Khanna signing off with the promise to bring you more stories of excellence, innovation, and the brilliance of India's hospitality industry. Let me also thank Diversey, who've really supported us through thick and thin. This year, in this season, season 3, We'll have 2 shows a day, 4 shows a week, every Thursday and Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. and then 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Watch us on bwhotelier.com, our YouTube channel, and all the 4 social media. And a big thank you to Team BW. Thank you for lifting the show to where it is. We have some great numbers happening. All right. Thank you all. Don't switch off. Diversey video, please. Thank you for lifting the show to where it is. We have some great numbers actually. All right. Thank you all. Don't switch off. Thank you once again. Thank you for being there, for your time, and for enriching the platform.